What's up, everybody, and welcome back to All Sports Media TV. I am your host, KJ the Great. Thank you guys for bearing with me, and we are still rocking. As y'all can see, I'm getting my space tidied up because I got some painting going on in here. But let's get right into it. Well, MVP Promotions announced that they signed the undisputed super featherweight champion, none other than Alycia the Baumgardner recently. And what a signing and what a move. What a way to boost women's boxing in a way like no other promotion is doing in the world right now. Now, let's talk about this. Alycia Baumgardner recently announced that she is partnering up and teaming up, bringing in two-time two-time trainer of the year, the man who trained Errol Spence Jr., Ryan Garcia, Jermell Charlo, unified champion, undisputed champion, big time name in the sport of boxing, none other than Derrick James. What a way to kick things off for this portion of her career. I personally like this move, and this is possibly going to be one of the best moves she's made for her career. Recently, she was working with Tony Harrison. She was working with Tony Harrison. But as we know, all good things must come to an end, especially in the sport of boxing. And that's okay because, sometimes some things may happen behind the scenes, or some things may just happen to where you want to go in a different direction for your career. Now, me personally, like I said before, I like this move for her, not just having them in the corner, but also to sharpen up skills and bring on the biggest fights that can be made. Because I think with Derrick James in her corner, you guys go back and watch the high points of Jermell Charlo's career. You go back and watch the high points of Errol Spence's career. You go back and watch the fight that Ryan Garcia had with Devin Haney. Definitely Derrick James, he when he gets his fighters locked in and paying attention to detail, great things happen within that camp. Derrick James has had a really, really good stable of fighters. He also had Anthony Joshua in his camp. He is no longer working with Ryan Garcia or Earl Spence, but he had Frank the Ghost Martin in his camp. But the problem that those guys seem to have in the biggest fights is that he didn't have their ear at times. Errol Spence, you look at certain times in his fights with Terrence Crawford. It didn't seem like Errol Spence was trying to do the things that Derrick James was telling him to do. You look at the fight with Ryan Garcia. Although Ryan Garcia had a lot of success, I believe that was in part due to a lot of natural ability. He didn't have Ryan Garcia's ear. You can see him folding up, turning around, doing the Philly shell stuff all the time, turning his back at times in the fight. Even with Frank Martin, when he fought Gervonta Davis, and the fight prior to that, you can tell that Derrick James just did not have his ear in total because he was doing things, trying things, and ultimately that's what led to him getting knocked out. Now, if he has Alycia Baumgardner's ear, with her natural ability, with her physique, with her power, and her ability to control the ring, and just all that she brings to the table already, I think this will be a good duo. She's already undisputed. After this title defense she's going to have on the undercard as the co-main to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano trilogy, I would probably look for her to move up in weight, maybe to possibly 135, which there is a big fight she can make at 135 with Caroline Dubois. There's some other fighters out there, but I think that's the biggest at that weight. A move up into 140 would put her in position to possibly challenge Katie Taylor, her stablemate, Amanda Serrano, and there's so many other fighters that she can fight at that weight. Natasha Jonas, Lauren Price, or all of, excuse me, they all fight in these, move up and down within those weight classes. But then again, she could also make the jump up to 147, and we could finally get that long-awaited rematch with Michaela Mayer, who is the WBO champion, who is looking to face Lauren Price for Undisputed. That right there in itself is a great matchup. Now, with Nikisa, the co-founder of MVP Promotions, he did say in an interview, when Clarissa Shields was brought up into the conversation, if Clarissa Shields wants to make the most money she's ever made, they can make that fight happen. I personally believe Clarissa Shields could make that weight. I just don't believe she has to get up and go for that. What I mean by that is, like, cutting weight, it is a skill and it's hard. It takes time. She recently had surgery on her shoulder to repair her shoulder from her last training camp. So will she have that get up and go? Maybe, maybe not. But also, I think this fight would have to happen at a catch weight, maybe around 150-ish, if that were to happen. Me personally, I think if Derrick James and Alycia Baumgardner gel as a tandem duo, it will be a really, really tough fight for Clarissa Shields, although she does possess physical abilities over Alycia Baumgardner. Alycia Baumgardner does have the sharper edge, the more refined skills, I would say. But that's not to say Clarissa Shields, as great as she is, she's still learning. So what do you guys think about this signing? These two pairing up? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.